So I just thought I'd do a quick video just sort of showing the stuff that I keep on me in the workshop each day. So this wouldn't necessarily be what I'd have in my pocket if I'm outfitting. If I'm outfitting, I normally wear a pair of work trousers with some sort of holster pouches, and so I have extra stuff in them. But this is what I'll have on my pocket every day in the workshop. I know a lot of guys wear a tool belt, but I just find them really uncomfortable and impractical. So this is kind of small. It used to be one of the sort of Erwin utility Stanley knife type holder pouches, but I've just added other bits to it over time and sort of adapted it a bit so that it takes the stuff that I want to use and keep on me sort of every day, really. So yeah, little pouch. On the back it used to have a belt holster here, but I never put it on my belt. I suppose I could put it on my clip anyway, but I always clip it onto my trouser pocket. It keeps it a little bit lower and I prefer it. And there's a little carabiner on the bottom here. I had the idea that I'd clip that on my trousers and then it would stop it from sort of flapping, but to be honest it doesn't really flap anyway, so it's not too bad. So yeah, what we've got in it is fast cap, true 32 metric tape measure. Like these are my favourite tapes, 5 meters, big enough for everything I do in the workshop. Things I like about it's got a proper clip on the back, so it really holds on well. And that's another thing I like about this kind of setup, is that nothing really wants to sort of fall out. There's a little bit of rattling, but you know, if you're working like this with it this way up, nothing ever falls out of it, which is really nice. So yeah, true 32 tape. It's got the little dry erase pencil bit on here, which is really handy actually, because you can sort of like, you know, measurement, you just write it on. And I prefer black on white markings to yellow. I just find them a bit easier to see. You know, you've probably seen I've got glasses in my other video and I'm blind as a bat, so yeah, so that's first thing, and that clips on the front there. Second thing I got in there is a little engineer's square, 4-inch, 100mm, whatever you prefer. You can see the profile of it there. It's got like a fence on the back, so you can use that for internal corners. Got a little corner cut out there, which I find really handy. This is really good if you're machining up timber, you know, you just want to check everything's square. Good little machine setup tool, setting fences, or if you're setting cutters. Just really handy size, does most of what I need. Obviously, sometimes you might want a big 12-inch combination square or something, but for just being in your pocket all the time, it's about perfect. Next one I've got is a Statler mechanical pencil. That's a 0.5mm one. I know a lot of people don't like them that small because they snap a lot, but as long as you only leave a tiny bit out at the end, they're fine. I always prefer mechanical pencils to normal ones, so that's gives a really nice crisp line. They're not mega expensive, these Statler ones, and yeah, good little one. Always have a H lead in that, so get a nice crisp line off of it, nice and easy to get nice precise markings for joinery. Next one I've got on there is one of these Halferters, whatever you want to say, Halfertors. Mechanical pencils, a bit like the Pica pencil. At the minute, it's got a really soft grey lead in it. I don't know if you can see it. They've got the little sharpener built into the thing. But if I'm using lighter woods like oak and, you know, panel material, stuff like that, I keep that in it. And then if I'm using something like walnut that's dark and hard to get a good mark on, then I swap it out and stick in. I've got some yellow leads and some red leads and stuff, but that's always a soft one, so that mainly gets used for marking, for cross-cutting, for rough cutting, sort of rough saw number to, you know, rough saw timber to length before machining, and I'll use it for things like numbering face frames, just something where you want a really clear dark line. Having that soft lead gives a nice thick line, not particularly good for marking for cuts and stuff, but spot on for just giving like quick reference marks. Next thing that's in there is just a normal snap knife thing. I used to keep a Stanley knife in here, but this is just a bit smaller, so it means I can get a bit more stuff in. I always use it's just one of those cheap Erwin plastic ones. I've got a few of them kicking about, but I use the Tajima black blades. They're a bit thicker, I think, than they certainly seem stiffer. They're harder to snap, so but good for, you know, marking lines, opening boxes, whatever crap you use a knife for throughout the day. It's one of those things you always want in your pocket, really. And then I've got a 25mm 1-inch butt chisel that lives in here. Just nice to have a small chisel in your pocket all the time. Inch fits in here nicely, and you know, it's sort of a size that's big enough to do most things, little trimming tasks. If you just want to sort of like take off some burrs from something, or, you know, anything really, just handy size. And that is everything that I keep in my pocket all the time. So that's that. I mean, say, you know, I'm in a workshop, so I'm not too far from stuff anyway. It's either going to be on the wall in a toolbox or in a tool trolley or something. But it's just nice to have that stuff constantly on you. And you can see all I've done for this here is a plastic kitchen leg, and so that fits pretty much dead tight in there. You can hold, oh no, you can't hold it, lied. But you know, it fits tight enough that it never falls out. And it also stops that rattling against anything else in there, stops you getting chips, so that works really well. The mechanical pencil sits in a tube on the edge here, and all that is, I think that was from a marker pen or something like that. But you know, it's just a plastic bit of tube, wherever you get a plastic bit of tube from. And that stops you snapping, because you put it in here, you just find you snap the lead off, you don't have to retract it every time, whereas put it in there, it just keeps it protected, stops it coming out. That just fits in the gap that's left. And this here, I don't know if it come across that well on there, but there's basically a bit of sort of like, I guess it's a bit of 3/4 inch pipe or something like that, probably a straight connector or something I use. And I just cut a little notch there, so when this goes in, it sort of goes on there, and that stops it from whapping around. Because most of the square holders you get, they're useless. They just sort of like spin like this, and then they fall out your pocket all the time, which the last thing you want is for a square to fall on a concrete floor. And then last bit is tape measure. So say that's the whole thing. It's sort of like, that's my hand, so that gives you a rough idea of the sort of size of it. Just literally clips on my desk right next to the front door as I unlock in the morning and come in each morning. Goes straight on my trousers, and you know, got most of the stuff you need just to start a day. But I just couldn't really find a nice little holder like this. I've seen there's some leather ones which take a bigger tape, but I don't like a big chunky tape. Do you know what I mean? I'm not on site. I don't want an 8 metre Fat Max tape. I want something that's kind of slim and just easy to fit in, you know, easy to fit in my hand. So this kind of works well for me. All these are done with is, say, the various bits of tubes cut in various ways, and then I've just drilled holes, stuck cable ties through, and then just blobbed a load of super glue over where I've drilled the hole. Like, you can probably see it all crusty around there. I mean, it ain't a looker. But it just stops the thread from tearing back, you know, stops the threads from pulling and it unstitching the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, looks a mess, but it's lasted well enough like it. And I find it really handy. It's just nice size, not massive in bulk. You don't catch on all your machines you're going through. You don't end up catching it on the side of the panel saw as you're walking past it every time, anything like that. And just does the job with the bits and bobs that I need every day, really. So probably not that interesting to anyone, but yeah, I thought it's a quick video while I have a cup of tea. So anyway, have a nice, what is it? It's Sunday today, so have a nice remainder of the weekend, and have a nice week. Cheers. Bye.